Hello lads and gents, and welcome! Welcome back to Talent League, and today we're going to be back in the Titan series with another great match. We're going to be watching Make Your Destiny face off against Feuer, and it is going to be very exciting. Now, before we have to get in, we of course have to introduce our lovely analyst, Jaeger. Hello!
Hello, can I just say you nailed that pronunciation? Oh my god, I don't think I could do it. Is it what? Feuer? I'm not going to say it. Feuer?
We're going to refer to them as FF from now on.
FF. Ex-Turkish Cowboys. They've had a rebrand, if people are wondering. So it's still the same team. They just had a rebrand recently. And literally, it's a bit off topic, but everyone here at production has just been trying to pronounce their name for the past 5 minutes. It's been the funniest thing ever. Ethem Abbey, of course, our lovely co-caster for the community, has just been laughing at us trying to pronounce it. It's been horrible for us. But, of course, Buffer Bob, if you want to just talk us through this game at the start. Who's playing? What's happening? Who is everyone? Who is you? Who are you? What's going on?
I guess I'm the host, but for starters off, I think everyone wants to know the map, and it's not something interesting necessarily. It's not Border, Skyscraper, but at least it's not Oregon. I'm happy with that. Even though I'm not casting, I'm still satisfied with good old Clubhouse. Now, starting off, it's going to be Make Your Destiny, starting it off on defense, so they could be having a bit of a better head start, as Frei will be going off on attack. Now, with how these... we've looked a bit of the stats that lovely production has given us, and can we just check out what these win ratios are like? Can we compare a bit?
I'm glad you brought that up, but it's not something that's... both these teams have a 0% win rate on this map in the past few months. So, but in their defense, it's not been as bad as you think. So I'm gonna start with Turkish Cowboys here. Wait, let me just make sure it's Turkish Cowboys. Yes, of course. So I think Turkish Cowboys, they've played it twice. Both of these teams have played it less than 2 times. Turkish Cowboys have played it twice, and Make Your Destinies have only played it once. So both of these times, of course, also, I just want to say Turkish Cowboys, when they did play, one of the games was against TT9 in Vivid League a few weeks back. So you can't really, it's a T1 team, of course. So you do expect them not to win that. But all of these teams, when they've played on Clubhouse, it has been close. It's been 7-5, 8-7, and 7-5 respectively. So they've not won it yet, but they've been really, really close each time. And it's not going to take a lot of adjustments for them to be able to, finally get that 0 into a 1 and win on that Clubhouse map.
Oh, that is going to be most definitely interesting. I kind of respect these teams because they're kind of ban rate for Oregon and these more commonly picked maps would also be quite high. Right now, Make Your Destiny standing at a nice 75%. Of course, Feuer at a 88.5. So, they're, I guess you could say, caster favorite just a bit. But yeah, besides that, we also have the Operators ban, which would be a bit more commonly just, the good old Mira, the good old Nook with the Valkyrie in combo. So not too much out of the ordinary, especially for the map like Clubhouse, where those operators can most definitely come in handy, along with maybe an Azami or a Solus just for the end. But I think that does it just for now. We should be good to head off to our lovely caster. So Special B, Reprints, take it away.
All right, there we go. It's me and it's B. We get to cast together. This is the first time that we're going to be casting together. I'm really excited to see Feuer play, so I really just kind of want to get into this. But B, let me get your opinion on this match. I know you wanted the other game, but sadly that's been cancelled, so what do you think of this one?
Unfortunate. But I am quite excited for this actually. I did have a quick look at the statistics of their previous games myself, and one thing I wanted to note is well that FF, all the time, Clubhouse is actually one of the best maps. Although it has not been recently, overall it has been one of the highest winning maps, but MYD have been pretty iffy on side of it. One that's also pretty exciting as well, which I did notice, is that MYD have been quite strong on the attack side on all the majority of their maps, whereas FF have been a very strong defensive team. So this could be a very interesting start to this game, especially on a map such as Clubhouse, which is predominantly defensive, but can be completely flipped depending on how these attackers play it through. So it will be quite exciting to watch, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we can talk for a few more minutes because we have a little bit of a tech issue, but should be resolved pretty quickly. Just have a guy restarting. So in the meantime, I think I can touch up on the history of Frei because when you look at them in the past, I've known them as the Istanbul Wildcats for so long, and they've been with that org for such a long time. They're one of the most prominent, if not the most prominent Turkish team that has been around Siege for quite a long time. I've had the pleasure of casting them in the past, and just recently they've been dropped by Wildcats, and I couldn't really envision them as anything other than the Wildcats, and so seeing them as the Cowboys was certainly a new experience. But I'm glad they've been able to find a new home very quickly, and so now they're under Feuer, Frei, which I can pronounce. I'm the only German guy here. I've had a lot of fun trying to watch everyone on the production struggle pronouncing these guys correctly. But I'm really happy that they have a new home, and they really deserve it because they've been around for so long. And they've really had some punches upwards that you really wouldn't expect. They're a team that can certainly be a dark horse in any tournament, and no less here. But on the other hand, Make Your Destiny, I think I don't have much history on them. Maybe you can fill me on that a little bit more, B. But all I've seen from them was playing against Heroic, and it's Heroic. I didn't really expect them to win. They didn't win. But Fiasco really did impress me in that game because he was able to keep up with the level that Joom and Blaz were able to put up. And so that's the one player that I'm going to be putting my eyes on for this game.
Yeah, in terms of MID, I haven't got much experience with them on terms of Siege. I know they have quite strong CSGO and Fortnite teams as well. So in terms of an organization, they are quite powerful like players and stuff like that. So I imagine just as much from their Siege team as well, just judging from their what's the word? I completely forgot my English for a second of how they played in other games. So I am really looking forward to this. Like you said, two very FF being a very strong, very dominant team, especially in Ubisoft Turkey. Absolutely dominating the scenes there, and I'm definitely expecting an interesting game here. Clubhouse, as mentioned from the analyst, the host, it's not the most exciting of maps. I'll be completely honest with you, but as said, I am so thankful it's not Oregon, and it could be interesting. Hopefully, with the different. I mean, I'm very used to casting mostly UK teams or very close to Europe, and they have very similar strategies. But as you kind of extend out, you do see that most different regions have a lot of different strategies on these maps. I'm really excited to see what they kind of do in the Clubhouse, and I'm not sure whether to expect something really defensive, really aggressive. But I am very, very looking forward to this, to be honest with you.
All right. We should be about ready, so we'll probably be able to talk about the operator bans in just a moment. In terms of operator bans, I think for Clubhouse there's a lot of things that we could be expecting, definitely some Heartbreachers. I don't know about you, but I think I would expect Hibana to be the most likely ban on attack, and on defense we're most likely going to see one of the most modern operators, and it seems like we're going to be thrown into the game. It's going to be Clubhouse, and we'll have Make Your Destiny, a very strong attacking team starting on their preferred side on the attack, and we'll have Feuer, Frei on the defense.
I'm not pronouncing that this entire game. Just gonna put that.
Just call them FF.
Yeah, FF or Feuer. I can't do this. I'm an ignorant Brit. I can't do this.
Let's ignore their name and instead look at the ban.
The Ying ban. That is an interesting first ban coming out the side of FF. I mean, she is a very strong operator on Clubhouse. I can't lie. I have got some strategies myself that do involve the Ying. I've seen a lot of Ying rushes, and obviously with the Heartbreach devices and stuff as well. She's such a strong operator on this map, with these small, tight, close quarter rooms as well. And the Thatcher ban coming out second. Nothing too interesting there. I'm quite a hater of the Thatcher ban, as I do feel he is way too hated on for what he's capable of nowadays. But old players stick to their old habits, I suppose.
I'm surprised that we didn't see a Heartbreacher get banned out.
Yeah,
but,
that was interesting, to be honest, yeah.
But Make Your Destiny going for a very standard ban, Thatcher Kite. I think this is something that you've seen on Clubhouse for many years. And Mira's also banned that. I think I don't know if it was on broadcast or if it was before, but certainly our beautiful host Poffo, he said that most likely we would see a Mira ban be one of the defaults on this map. Does come out as well. So the only surprise really is the Ying. So FF really trying to spice things up, maybe countering something that they saw Make Your Destiny play at some point here on this map. I'm interested to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, the operator picks for both teams are majority expected. You got the Hibana, we got the Ayana, the Sledge, but the interesting pick on the side of the attackers is the Lion in a sense. I'm not too used to seeing that on Clubhouse, but a completely valid picks here. Typically you do see more of a double Heartbreach, double entry kind of lineup, but I changing it up a little bit here. And on the side of the defense, we do see the Jaeger, the Mute, the Zarya are really solo. Something again, pretty standard lineup for the side of the defense. There is Clubhouse, so you are going to see predominantly the similar operating doing. It is a gym bedroom startup. And I like to see.
Right, starting on Gym Bedroom, of course, I think a fairly comfortable site for defenders in the current meta. CC has really fallen out of favor in the past few seasons simply because that main wall breach was made it very easy for the attackers to access the site, and with how many hard breaches have been added to the game over the years, it's been really made too easy to open up that wall, even if you take out hard breaches, which in this case hasn't even happened in the ban phase. So they start on Gym, but the interesting thing that I've seen so far is we have an observation blocker in play. The Jaeger is bringing out the new gadget.
Yeah, that is a completely interesting gadget in my opinion. I only heard about it earlier on today, and I'm really excited to see how it plays in actual games. I'm quite excited to just see one of the first games with it in, and that's the first player already taken out. Wow. Okay, this is a fast start to this game.
Yeah, Donati getting caught out early on that CC window through a barricade. Yuha just opening up that barricade, catches him out. That's early man advantage for Make Your Destiny. So they can now take their time and slowly approach. And you can see they're approaching from CC side. They already have garage control. They're trying to get into CC. They're trying to take through cash, and then they can get a foothold inside of construction. And that's most likely where the execute is going to shape up, unless they decide to go for a mid-round rotation. For now, we have a lot of Kiba barriers stacked around construction side. You can see Bodolf has put them everywhere around here. And Lasmo's on the floor, actually, outside of CC. A swing comes through from Bodolf. He gets tagged down to low HP as well. He's going to think better of it, not going to re-peek that. But a lot of things happening at once here in this game already, and we're not even halfway in. Loki gets another onto Gatero. Okay, Make Your Destiny. They're up 5-3 now.
You do see a man advantage on the side of MYD now. I've only 1 minute 20 left on the ball, but there was so much control inside of the attackers. There's so little left for the defenders to hold. This is looking very favoured for MYD right now, but could be turned either way. I mean, there's 2 players down on the side of MYD. 3v3 situation right now. So close. Still a minute left on the ball. They have so much time to work with here. Get so much. Oh, this is.
A lot of players are tagged up already. You can see nobody on the side of FF has full HP anymore. Shoxel's down to 1 HP. Bodolf is about 1 bullet as well. Quarturner's at half. Lasmo's down to 20 as well. There's been a lot of gunfights back and forth, a lot of damage exchanged, and Shoxel adds on top of that as he takes off the head of Baby Shark. And with only 40 seconds left now, Shoxel still has control of that vault, and Quarturner's actually able to find the last 2 with an impact as well. Not even going to be able to see that in the replay. That's how quickly it happened, and FF take their first round.
That was a massive advantage the attackers had there. They completely flipped almost instantaneously. We saw that Jaeger getting taken out in the first 30 seconds of that round, and they had full control of garage, full CC control. They had some picks coming through from construction. So much control there, I think, from the attacker. With the breaches open, we had almost the entire horizontal control, and almost instantaneously at the same time, we saw it completely flip in the last minute. They were so quick with their initial push, which is wonderful to see. And as we discussed before, MOD are a strong attacking team, so it was as expected. But it's also quite nice to see how FF were able to retake that for themselves, despite being at that disadvantage for so long, with so many players on low HP. But yeah, moving forward, we are now going down to bottom 4. I mean, as you said, CC is no longer as viable of a site with all these hard breaches. The hub is not taking it off the board. It just isn't one of those first picks right now. But this bottom 4 has definitely been one of the strongest sites I've seen recently. I think a lot more bar stock recently as well, since the old change now, but to me it's still relatively new.
Attackers must locate and defuse the
We've
bomb.
got quite heavy vertical hold here. We actually do see some people holding up from CCTV as well. It's a very strong presence in mid floor. So it's quite a heavy roam. We're gonna have to expect these attackers to go for some quite a heavy clear here, but obviously have to be very cautious of time, as they do take too long trying to clear out this Solus from the top floor. They might end up losing it themselves.
Alright, Quarturner is getting very aggressive early on yet again. He's trying to peek out that window on main stair side. Not able to connect onto anything, but he does see one of the players, and he's looking for another fight against Loki. He's really trying to see if he can prod away at these attackers and finding an opening engagement anywhere that could go in his favor. not able to find anything yet, but you can see that FF are certainly trying to get the aggression going. You saw it in round 1. It was punished heavily, but they were able to come back in the mid-round. And this time around, it does go unpunished, but it doesn't go rewarded either. You already have... Oh, Yuha's already inside of dirt. He's already aggressively posted himself up behind that barricade. If FF are caught unaware, he could potentially get away with a lot here. It's a rush into the site from dirt. They get in. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Fiasco gets 2. Bodov gets 1 with the fire. Lasmo gets another. Shocks. It's a 2v2. A lot of things happening at once, and Shoxel, he's down to 1 HP. Denati was still up above. He tries to fall back downstairs. He knows that there's a guy inside of Kitchen, but he gets caught up by him. He's not able to win that fight against Loki. And so now it's a 2v1. Shoxel down to only 1 HP. He's able to find the player while flashed. He's on a triple. And he has to try and clutch this against Loki, but there's still half the round to go. Loki still has 2 nades in pocket. He has so much time to play with. He still has 2 drones to work with as well. 1 nade comes out, nearly connects onto Shoxel. Here comes the hatch drop. And now it's a quick tag from Shoxel through the wall. Not sure if Loki caught onto that. I think he did. So now a fight ensues. There's a lot of cover to play with, and this is going to be awkward for both of these to try and find this pick. Another nade comes out, won't connect onto anything except for the Goyo canister. That blocks Shoxel's exit off, and so now he's stuck on dummies. Here comes a vault from Loki. He's trying to go into church. He's going to try and backstab him, but Shoxel is aware. He's turning around. Still 45 seconds. Loads of time, so he's just going to take it very slow. He wants to make sure that he can close out this round. He can kill Shoxel. But I'm not sure if he's aware exactly where he is. I don't think there's live info. So Shoxel just playing within a realm of uncertainty. And here's the Ana gadget just being used to get some information. Shoxel's going to use that to just reposition himself. He's now playing behind the bomb. And suddenly they've switched positions. Shoxel taking another fight, and he finds the headshot. FF, they're able to win the second round off of that rush. It looked so good for MYD, but they're not able to close it out as Shoxel, with a quad kill in the round, I believe that is, on 1 HP.
That was so unexpected. I thought that we had all these attackers in this like perfect position to ready to take that push. The Lion scan came through, they made that initial push, they got the frags in, but somehow Shoxel was able to clean up almost the entire attacking side on so little HP. That was insane all from the side of the defense. I honestly thought the attackers had that yet again, but in milliseconds it completely flipped the other way. Wow,
Yeah,
that was a round to witness. My gosh.
It was a very good attempt, but at the same time, Shoxel was able to play that perfectly. It's just I'm impressed with his performance.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see the use of sound and everything there. Man was listening for their footsteps. The second it was 1v1, every time Ayana rotated anyway, it was almost like walls was happening. He was tracing the footsteps through everywhere, but absolutely wonderful play from Shoxel. Honestly, I would have been sweating in that position myself, but glad to see that FF having a bit more chill than I do.
Alright, now we're going to the bomb site that we've touched up on a little earlier. Again, CC, the ever-elusive bomb site. We're not going there yet. Instead, we're going to bar and stock.
I love bar stock. Oh my god.
A bomb site, yeah, it's you know, when Clubhouse was slightly changed, when they gave the map buff to this map, they made this bomb site somewhat viable, and through the meta shift, bar and stock has slowly become a map favorite in terms of defensive bomb sites. Because it started out as being just kind of viable, and over time, with the meta changing, it has slowly turned optimal, and that's a change that not many people saw coming. But it's so easy to hold upstairs, because you're essentially playing the same bomb site as Gym and Master, but when you lose Gym and Master, you can still fall back down. And so it's the same defense, but just another layer on top, which costs more time, more utility, and that makes it incredibly hard for the attackers to do anything.
Yeah, I was a big fan of all bar stock myself. So, you know, but typically then you could consistently see the same horizontal bushes coming through, like pushing a strip, and you kind of already had second control or push to stock. But yeah, definitely with the new bar stock, I mean, sorry to interrupt you, I do have the first kill already, but as you say, with the new bar stock, it is just Gym Bedroom round 2, where you just have, as long as you can hold that, you fall off, you can hold, you then hold bar stock. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sight if you're able to fall off and rotate when you need to. However, with the way that FF are playing, they're quite an aggressive team. I feel like we could see a bit, maybe a bit too much aggression towards the end of this. Just as a prediction, maybe they won't fall off when necessary. Maybe the confidence will kick in and they'll just stay put when they maybe shouldn't.
Lasmo's already inside of Gym.
I know this is
He snuck into gym. I think Donati has an idea of that, but I'm not sure if he's exactly aware. And so at the moment, Lasmo's just he's holding his feet still. He doesn't want to make any sound. He's just waiting for the castle to come to him. So just seeing if he can take that fight. And there we go. He comes out on top immediately. Tries to go for a hatch drop. Shoxel gets one back onto the player inside of Billiard. Loki cannot get that refrag. Shoxel able to pull himself away. He takes a little bit of damage, but he's still alive. He's gonna try and re-challenge this. And Loki has to be careful here, but no, a backstab from Baby Shark. He's already inside of Kitchen. He's able to backstab that player. Now he gets taken down in turn as well. Portuner gets one more, but is immediately traded out by Lasmo. And suddenly we're back into a 1v1. Lasmo's 1 HP. Bodolf has taken a little bit of a hit as well. And we're down to this back and forth game with loads of cover. Yet again, this is just like the previous round. Just like it was in Basement.
This is such a close game. Even though FF are clearly taking the lead here, 2 rounds in their advantage. I mean, the way this has been going, it's been going so back four. It was like a game of ping pong, but they're losing players, they're winning the advantage, and then losing the advantage, and it's completely slipping around. But either way, MIT do get the first round of this game, thanks to Lasmo and his sneaky antics to this map. Oh, I don't even know what to predict at this point. Even though FF definitely so strong at getting these retakes through, they are losing control way too quickly for what I'm used to seeing, which. As we mentioned previously, FF are a very strong defensive team, and this is a very strong defensive map. But just the way it's going, it's MYD are so fast at taking this control. I mean, it could completely flip now. All they have to do is try and get inside of FF's head, and it's completely in their favor. But
attackers need to locate.
Yeah, certainly. MYD they're going very fast, and that's putting a lot of pressure onto FF, but at the same time it's a little bit reckless, you know? When you're going this quickly, you're bound to be making mistakes, and you just have to make sure that those mistakes aren't the critical ones that cost you the round. And so far, this game has been so tightly packed with gunfights going back and forth. It's quite difficult to judge which mistakes really cost the round here and there, because ultimately it seems to come down to just 1v1s. It's individual gunfights that determine how the round goes, because the strategy from both these teams holds up against one another. FF are able to withstand that pressure, but at the same time, MID are able to capitalize on their aggression without being punished too harshly. Because if FF would approach this differently, we could certainly see MID either rolling over them or getting shot out of the building before even being able to go through a single doorway. But that's not happening, because both these teams have a decent read on what each other do, and as you pointed out right as we got into the game, we have a very strong attacking team starting on the attack, and the defensive team, they start on the defense, and so we have the two teams on their strongest side going up against one another. And so, explosive start, and they're gonna try and fight for every round that they can.
You know, I'm kind of excited to see how the flip goes here, you know? When it's attacking on the defensive, but from the attacker, that's gonna be quite exciting, but until we also on this, and I think it does seem that FF are going to go for almost an identical strategy as they did previously on their gym bedroom site, which, if MIT can read into this, can hopefully pull through what they weren't able to on the first round. Although they were very, very close previously. If you do remember, they did take very strong control, got the opening frag, and already taken so much damage off that warden so early on. This could work in their benefit, but also, who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to judge how the round's going to go until the very last moment. And Gotero, I mean, it's a good start that nade from down below takes out the shield. It does put Gotero down to only 1 HP. He has to fall back. And this is decent control gained from MYD, and certainly not as reckless as previously. They're more controlled, more composed this time around. They're slowly getting control of what they need to get control of. But what they struggled with last time on this very bomb side was the execute. And we need to see them perform better in this execute, or FF is just going to shut them down the same way that they did in the previous gym defense.
Absolutely. I mean, you can definitely see that MID have some very good IGLing going on. As I mentioned previously, they're able to get that control, get these opening frags from the defensive side. But as you said, the execution is just not going very well for them. I'm not sure whether that's just due to the time it's taken to get to that position, or the FF's gun skills are completely just superior in these situations. But also, they kind of maybe not superior to me as well, so take it. Double kill without getting a triple, actually. No, it does remain a double kill. That was fast. Again, the rounds are going so quickly. My gosh.
Yeah, and Fiasco off the back of that now is able to get the player on taxi side, and so it's only down to Core Turner. He's on a 1v3, but he does have that P90, loads of ammo. If he can connect headshots, he can easily win out this round. Lasmo's low on HP, Loki's tagged as well. If he can finish off these players, he can still win this round. And yet again, he's able to find Lasmo. After that beautiful hatch drop, Lasmo won't be able to find this last player. A plant is coming down now. Plant will be stuck, and so now we're in a post-plant situation. Core Turner will have to retake. He has to get both these players before he can get onto the diffuser, because they're both close around and they're not going to let him defuse. He's going to try and get rid of that Kiba barrier, but to no avail, as Fiasco's the one that takes him down. And this is the player that I said we'd have to watch out for, and Fiasco, he's been getting some crucial additional kills off the back of his team, and they're really working together to enable him here. And that's working really well, and so they tie up the score. It's 2-2.
Such an exciting thing about casting actual good teams, you know? Like, we're actually being able to see these, like, frags coming off of each other, people playing with each other, the crosses being held, the retakes, the executes, everything's happening right now to the point where I can't keep up with it all. It's, like, so exciting. Maybe a different approach could have worked better in its favour, but things like this do happen, and I am quite... MID definitely stepping their game up here. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. FF now going back to the bottom floor.
Alright, we're going back to basement. FF won this in a 1v1 off the back of, I think it was Shoxel, if I remember correctly. Just getting a huge quad kill in the round, able to shut down the rush from MYD. I'm expecting them to not do this again. The rush nearly worked out, didn't quite. I don't think they're going to try it again. I think this time they're going to lean more into a more composed attacking round, because you could see in the previous gym round, it worked out for them. They went a little slower, they went a little more calmly, and then exploded right when they had to. Lasmo was able to find that hatch drop, that double kill, and that's the opening that they needed. And they found that in the mid round. And if they can keep that up, if they can find an opening and exploit it against FF, they can certainly win out these rounds, and they can certainly make this a 4-2 split. But for now, I think FF, they need to focus on keeping their defenses tight. They need to make sure none of those gaps even show up anywhere, or at least that MID doesn't notice that they're there.
I mean, this is... Even now, if MID do unfortunately not take any more rounds, it is such a good position for them, even on when they switch to the defensive side. The 2-4 split is actually really good for Clubhouse. Not the greatest, but I don't...
Oh no! No! Shoxel, no!
No! What is going on?
I said they were gonna be more composed.
What just happened? I was just talking about the strategy, and all of a sudden everyone's killed, dead. They suicide the lot. Oh my gosh!
I said they...
this round to go.
I thought that they were gonna be more composed. I thought that they were gonna be more composed. They were gonna be slower. They were gonna try and find an opening in the mid round, but no, they just explode onto the side. They try and go for a quick hatch drop down blue, and they all get caught together.
You know, I'm starting to understand this Ying ban. I feel like it actually could be a target ban here, because imagine that rush strat, but with the tin can and the flash. Like,
Yeah.
This would be... That would be completely in their favour. If they had the Ying, I actually reckon that platform rush would perfectly. It's very similar to rushes I have seen before. We just kind of get a Ying on the kitchen hatch and drop it that way and have someone in dirt, and that's a very standard rush strat for bottom floor. But without that Ying, obviously it's not going to go as well for them. They're still playing it through, they're still giving the go, which is more than I can expect for them, to be honest with you. I'm surprised they went for it a second time. That was ballsy, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I respect doubling down on it. It didn't work, but I still respect it. It was a decent attempt.
The first time, but maybe a bit too predictable to go for the identical attack a second time through. Oh.
Alright, regardless of all of that, somehow at the end of all of these rounds that have been so explosive, we're looking at a 3-2 scoreline, and I mean, deserved for both of these teams, but at the same time, I feel like with what we've witnessed, we should be looking at a 6-5 somehow.
Honestly, I actually reckon this is going to go back for this entire game. I was kind of expecting like a one-way win from the FF, I'm going to be completely honest, just judging from like previous games and statistics. But MID are really holding themselves up against FF right now. I'm just
Yeah,
happy
they're
to be
able
here,
able
be
to keep
honest.
pace. Right, Shoxel with the opening pick takes down Yuha. That's the ace off the board.
That's a hard breach, yeah. I mean, they still have the Thermite on board, but ace is a massive pick to be taken out. I mean, the refrag's coming through, and then again, this game of ping pong.
Back and forth. Trades happening. Loki gets taken down, but not without Gotero going down as well. That's the new operator, by the way, who's playing the Fenrir. Goes down. I hope he's activated some of his gadgets, because if they're not active yet, then it's too late now. Another trade comes through. Lasmo, he's been insane on these picks from across the map, from anywhere. It doesn't matter where you need him. Lasmo's going to find a pick there, even outside and spawn, and he's able to find the player that's sticking his head through the gym window, equalizing the scoreline yet again. And so, make your destiny against FF. It's a 3v3 once more. Half the round is gone. Still a minute and a half left to play with. No more hard breach on the board, as Lasmo has used all of his exothermics already. Another gunfight ensues, more damage exchanged. These two teams cannot stay away from each other for more than 20 seconds.
It is insane. I mean, what I wanted to point out is that both teams support for one slot bracket right now. We have, the Thermite is absolutely popping off, as well as Shoxel, who's been predominantly on the mute. There's a couple of other operators as well, but that's a pretty funny thing to do, I'll be honest, but I mean,
these shots going back and forth.
is
Baby
a
Shark
so
able to
lovely.
find the
I don't
Nazi
just wanna
again.
cast anymore, I just want to watch the game. This is just some fun.
Oh, and they peek it again. Baby Shark just continues to get peeked, and he's able to win out these fights over and over again. And so it's Core Turner again in a 1v3. We've seen this before. 30 seconds on the board. There's a player close to him. He's able to find Fiasco. Now a vault comes through into Jim. There's going to be a plant attempt started. No, actually, he's going to try and go for the rotate, and Baby Shark's able to find a third for himself in the round. And these teams cannot stay away from one another. They need to be peeking each other. It does not matter if it's defense or attack. They are swinging into one another constantly. These fights are continuing to go back and forth. They're not getting any rest periods, and it's hard to think on your feet when it goes this quickly. But they're both holding up so well, and so we're looking at a 3-3 scoreline. Just nobody coming out on top in this half, and now we switch onto both these teams' weaker sides. And you said you're excited for it? Man, am I as well.
It's a 3-3 split on Clubhouse, which is a beautiful position. Specifically by MID here, if I be completely... like I said, it is a defensive map. But... it could go either way. I don't want to make too many predictions yet, because every time I make a prediction, it goes the opposite way. So I'm a bit more jigged by the team. But, I mean, just in that previous round alone, you could just see how well these teams are able to communicate with each other. Like, MID completely split the attack. Like, they had people going from Gouge and people going from Jacuzzi, and in these lower levels, most of the time you do see these splits. They don't go very well, they take a bit too long, but they're completely funneling at the other team. They're getting these kills so fast and so smooth. I mean, that last scene there where you saw it was a 1v3, the swing into construction gets the kill, and instantaneously the vault through it and the window holding, getting the free fires through, getting those kills exactly when they need to be put through. It's very well organised from these teams, which is why I'm excited to see it on the opposite side. I mean, if MYD have that much control over an attacking side on a defensive map, they're going to have so much presence on defensive, and as I say that is the first kill coming out from the side of the defense. Bono off the ball, that is a sledge, there's the nades gone, and the soft breach, that is a massive pick, if played correctly. My gosh.
And yet again, we don't see an immediate trade. Usually the opening pick goes untraded, and then we start entering this ping pong back and forth. I haven't been looking at the conversion rates, sadly, otherwise I would tell you if these opening picks have any importance, but as I say that, Shoxel is able to equalize yet again, takes on Lasmo. And so Shoxel now on 11. Game of the supports, it seems.
Yeah, honestly. Both of them are playing so well. I guess it's because they are very fast and very aggressive teams, both of them. These supports are just sitting there and taking the leftovers at this point. Just taking everyone who's not where they should be, I suppose. But it is very exciting. It's a 4v4, still 2 minutes left on the board. Still too early to make any sort of predictions here. I mean, defense still have very strong control here, and they are on CCTV, which was not touched upon. But they are in the non-favoured map as of right now. But they have put it down to a 4v3 situation now with the Shoxel on very low HP as well. looking very, very good for the defensive side, which is interesting to see, to be honest.
And these past 2 rounds, it seems like Shark has woken up. I think we've awoken the baby Shark, and he's fragging now. He's here. He's bringing kills on the board, because right now, FF don't really have an answer to him. They need to find him. They need to shut him down if they want to have a chance at doing anything else in this round. We could see the observation blocker there. Didn't really do too much. Could still spot that alibi sitting inside of it.
Yeah, that kind of defeats the purpose of the observation blocker. Oh, that was a clean kill. I'm gutted there. That's unfortunate. That's Shoxel taking out Jua as well, putting it back to a 3v2 situation. Oh, that's defused the dragon! Massive attack effective! All they have to do, hold. Shoxel is not looking very good for them now.
Down to 1 HP. It's not like he hasn't clutched something like this before, but last time it was a 1v2.
And
It was a 1v2, and he was on the defense, so he had the advantage in that situation. Now he has to push into these guys, and he only has 20 seconds to do it. He's gonna spot one, but no, Fiasco's the one that cleans him up. He's able to see the feet, able to connect through the wall onto the player, and there we go. MID, they continue their trend of just really aggressive, really smothering their opponents in some of these gunfights, and it looks like on the defense it's working out. We'll have to wait and see how the remaining few rounds go, because at the moment it's just back and forth, back and forth. We can't say anything until FF put another one on the board.
Usually when I'm casting games, it's a clear winner or a clear contender, but right now it's looking so close from them. And I honestly thought that MID wouldn't be as strong on the defensive side, but based on how they were on their attacking and how organised and how put together they are, you could definitely see that as well in their defensive. How instead of playing a really strong aggressive position, they just held where they should be, ensured that they control the flank come through, which was beautifully executed, and they had the diffuser down and they just held it. They didn't play more aggression than they needed to, which was nice to see. And we go to the bottom floor now, which definitely one of the strongest sets compared to CC, but the fact that we're able to get CC through just shows how good of a team they are, especially in this current meta. Or maybe we could assume that FF weren't quite expecting it to be brought out. But with the operator switch, that's not an excuse anymore.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the CC pick is something that you bring out if you still feel like you're comfortable on it. Of course, on Clubhouse, all the sites are viable. Some are more preferred than others. And the meta hasn't been favoring CC too much, but of course you can still win it. You can still play on it if you have an idea for what you want to do, and MID certainly did. And they're able to capitalize on FF not really sure how they want to approach it. They try and go for an opposite side take. They try and take master control. It doesn't really work out for them. And so that bomb site is locked now. MID go to the basement, secondary choice for them, just the same way that it was for FF. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, all we've seen on the basement is rushes. We'll see if FF want to continue that trend, or if maybe they want to go for a late round execute.
The operator lineup now for the attackers is pretty interesting to me. I mean, like I said previously, you typically just do see double hard breaches, double soft breaches, but the lineup they have now right now, very, very strong if it was a heavy roam kind of strategy right now. But it doesn't appear to be too heavy on a roam from the side of the defensive. They are mostly funneled up on site, anchored on site rather. I mean, I suppose you do have the tin can openers now on Buck, making him essentially a hard breacher, which is very beneficial on this site with the hatches. Probably load up the hard breach devices as opposed to the ace.
Alright, in the meantime, Yuha's snuck into a strip club, and we'll have to wait and see if FF want to go for that clear. If they're gonna drone it, if they're aware of this Solus getting away from them, and if they want to, circle around it and maybe close in on it, get that kill, see if you can get man advantage like that, or if they're gonna be caught unaware, because at the moment, Yuha, he's pushing up again, and I don't think anybody from FF is really expecting this. Denate is looking at the floor. And so is the sledge. Yeah, there we go. Bodov gets caught by Yuha. They weren't aware of the player in strip club, and Yuha's going to be able to get a kill. He's going to be able to get away with his life, and now they have to deal with him. That, or they need to have somebody looking at him the whole time, which now in the 5v4 means that you're essentially playing a 5v3. 5v2 with Quarturner going down. Gotero gets one on the trade, though. Yuha aggressing yet again. Lasmo able to find another inside of blue as well. Shoxel trading back onto Baby Shark. We're now effectively in a 3v2, with Lasmo aggressing even further onto Secret Stairs. Quarturner getting picked up, that could be punished. No, Lasmo doesn't go in time, he could still punish it. No, instead he gets punished. Denati's the one that finds the kill, but Yuha, He closes in and pinches just in time to take down Core Turner. Fiasco gets one more onto Shoxel, and now Donati's in the bomb site. He's able to take the head off of Fiasco, and suddenly we're in a 1v1. The 30 seconds, US had a massive impact in this round, but he has to find one more. This red ping's coming out, he can see the planter, and he's able to confirm the last kill, and so MID, they go up 5-3, just about.
Oh my heart, that was too close. That was too close to the round. I mean, that was a beautiful swing on the Ayana. I mean, it broke your hold rather. And the instant reaction speed coming through, getting that pick on. Is it Blue Stairs? I'm out of touch on what to call that. So now called W. But I mean, that was a fantastic hold from MID. Look at that, 5-3.
Yeah, this defensive half at the moment, it looks like it favors MID's aggression. They really have been able to channel that. And especially, I mean, I have to give it to you, that the play inside of Strip Club was really well done. They were not aware of him. He's able to find one kill. He pulls himself back properly. And so he wastes so much time. And then he's able to go for a second flank and then a third flank. And then he's able to find the last player in the 1v1 thanks to the info from the Bulletproof on site, which probably was his Bulletproof as well. I don't know if he had impacts or not. I don't know whose BP that might have been, but certainly he had a massive impact on the round. And FF really need to figure out how they want to deal with this, because MID are all over the map, and FF need to shut that down. They need to find an approach where they can fix what's going wrong right now, because we can see that at the moment it's not working for them.
I mean, one main difference I'm able to see from the side of MID and the side of FF from the attacking side is that we did see MID going with this massive split pushes, but still working, communicating together, and it was always completely almost unpredictable as to where they were going. It was predictable if you know how to play the game. So to me it wasn't. But I mean, FF here are going for this main, almost very predictable kind of push onto the sites. I mean, they got to go for that run clear. They get that, the couple of soft breach holes through the site. They get that the very standard kind of pushes, and that's what probably allowing MID to get that insight as to what's going on. And playing Juha in strip was a massive frame play. The trigger, not really trigger happy as well, just sitting there carefully, making sure that he was undetected until it was the perfect time. I don't know what to predict even still. I mean, we think MID has a massive advantage, but if it's a 5-3, it could completely turn, because they are now in gym bedroom, which is previously one of the least favoured of the main three, but now, obviously, with changes and all that, it's a good site now.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, you have to remember that MID look like they're ahead right now, but this match started out with a 2-0 for FF.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
after that, MID really started figuring out what they needed to do on the attack to really punish FF, and they were able to come out with 3 rounds and a half, despite going down 0-2 very early on. And so, if FF just figure out what they need to do against MID to break through, suddenly we could be looking very easily at, tying the scoreline back up at 5-5, and potentially even going to overtime. That's something that I could definitely see between these two teams, because we've seen a 3-3 half, and we've seen that both of these teams are very capable of taking gunfights against one another.
Drum roll for this fight. Oh, never mind.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, there's some angles being held. They haven't boxed in from 2 angles. No, now comes the Kiba barrier. Beautiful. Covers that cross. Baby Shark's able to get away. Does take some damage still, but Yuha's able to find the opening pick elsewhere. And Corturner now worried about red stairs. Lasmo gets another, and very good start for MID. They're able to find opening picks. Half the round is gone. And now FF are not really sure how they want to proceed. They still have a lot of nades to play with. They still have Shoxel playing on those master windows. And oh no, Bodolflex actually catches Baby Shark trying to challenge onto that window. And yet again, they cannot stop peeking one another. And so, just continue losing players here and there. Lasmo gets another onto Core Turner. That's a double kill for him in the round. Loki's down to low HP already as well. Shoxel's been tagged up. Everybody's been involved in gunfights already. And so now all MID need to do is hold. They know where one is. They now know where the other is. So a little bit more damage done to Shoxel yet again. More damage done to Bodolf. Just slight little love tabs, little tags here and there. And those are really costing FF. Fiasco trying to go for the gunfight onto Shoxel, finds that one as well. Now we're in a 4v1, 3v1 as Bodolf is able to find one back onto Loki, but it might be too little too late as He's gonna have to find 3 more people. He does see that Yicker doesn't quite connect onto him. I thought that was a headshot. He certainly thought that too, but no, it's Fiasco that's able to close it out, and MID go on to match point.
The pure, like, confidence on these pushes, can we just, like, respect that for a second? Like, every time they swing it, it is a complete, like, gamble as to whether they're going to get that. They have complete confidence in their gun skill. That's very, very clear to see. I mean, we knew someone was in gym bedroom. FF still had a full peak swing that window, which, again, if they had that 1 millisecond faster reaction speed, they could have pulled it through, and the round would have gone completely differently. I mean, it's now match point for the side of MYD. But I would not be surprised if it does go into overtime. MID are definitely such a strong defensive team, which I was not expecting just based on their previous statistics. But maybe it's the map that's working in their favour, just the kind of team they are. Like very well organized, very heavy communication between them, as I mentioned previously. It's very, very obvious just to see. Like you can witness their communication with each other, and you can see exactly that they're well rehearsed on this map, despite not playing it very frequently recently. I mean, it's Clubhouse. I think everyone at this point is very well rehearsed on this map.
Yeah, it's a map that's been figured out pretty much. I think the meta has been fairly stable for this map for quite a long time. It's been, of course, evolving with the new operators, but I think that the bomb sites themselves have really been figured out. You figured out what walls work, which ones don't, what do you need to reinforce, what not. There's some slight variation, but certainly I think it's a map that you really have some very enhanced basics of, that you really need to know in and out to play it well. And at the moment, oh my god, Baby Shark, he finds that kill with the Deagle, just peeking outside, just disrespecting FF now. He takes down the Hard Breacher, that's the Nazi down. He's not able to find anything in this round. He's not going to be able to open any walls, and so it's only down to Shoxel to open walls, and, well, Borov does have some secondary Hard Breach gadgets. But this aggression
is literally a definition of siege timing. They were holding that peak, and that's when they stop looking is when the Deagle 1 tap comes through onto their main Hard Breacher. Right there. Siege timing. Oh my god. I mean, they already have such an advantage here. I mean, taking the bandit off the board does negate any sort of bandit tricking that could have potentially happened. Not that you see that really anymore. But yeah, the thermite off the board.
Loading new mag.
Huge opening pick for the side of defenders here. Gonna have to rely on the tin cans and the ace here, but that's gonna get the kill. That's gonna get the second kill. Shoxel in between that 4v2 situation in favour of MYD. Will this be a close 4v1? But we have seen Shoxel clutch up before. Definitely a really strong player, and as I say, that is Loki finishing off the game for MYD. What a beautiful game to be able to cast. Wow.
Some of these shots, yeah. I mean, okay, MID lock us out of that game. They said the moment we go on that defensive half, we're not making any more mistakes, we're not doing anything wrong. They played it perfectly. They were just the better team on the day here against FF. They certainly played really well. And Lasmo in 13, Fiasco in 10, both of them breaking double digits, really putting in work for their teams, but everybody on that team performed, because I know individual rounds of all of these players where I can say without them they wouldn't have won that round.
Absolutely. I mean, just the way they're playing off of each other works so beautifully. And as you said, even the players who unfortunately didn't get as many frags as they probably had hoped, they were still such crucial elements to these strategies. I mean, every single person was in the perfect position at the exact time they needed to be. I think it was just a case of who had the better gun skill, because you could see the strategy in both sides. And it was all just down to the gunfight in the end that costed them the rounds. Oh, that was exciting of a game.
All right, that's about it from us. We've casted this game a 7-3 for Make Your Destiny. Not really sure if that's something that we expected. I mean, in terms of history, I certainly would have given FF the edge just because I've known them for so long. But Make Your Destiny have impressed me with Fiasco's performance, specifically against Heroic when they played on Bank on the first play day, and they prove it again. They're a really good team, and they deserve to be here, and they deserve to be toward the top of this group. And they're going to be sitting right underneath Heroic, I believe, as we're now probably going to be throwing back to the desk.
Wow, 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 what a match that was. I mean, FF did manage to kind of get an early, not really a start, they managed to kind of, in the first 6 rounds, even it up a bit more. But the second it came to defense, MYD just absolutely demolished. So, for going a bit over what we actually just saw, let's introduce us back to our lovely analyst. Hello, Jaeger, how are you?
I am absolutely buzzing after that game, Puffer Bob. I mean, it was such a treat. It's always such a treat to watch amazing Siege games, and to completely take away from it on any map. If you take away the strats, the setups, everything, it comes down to your Siege fundamentals as a team. And both of these teams have such strong fundamentals. The positioning, the refrags, the communication. It was all so good. I mean, you don't even have to take my word for it. If you watched that game, you probably saw flurries of kills come off one after another, and that's just a sign of good teams facing each other, where they're able to position themselves to be able to refrag each other straight away, one after another. I mean, I can go hours talking about it, but I want to highlight a few different rounds, right? So,
Yeah.
on the first defensive half for FF, it was a bit shaky for them, especially because the rounds that they did win weren't the cleanest. They had one solid round win, and that was, I think, in round 5, where they countered a rush where where Make Your Destiny tried rushing a second time onto basement. But apart from that, their 2 round wins were a 1v2 clutch from Shoxel, who had a life game, by the way. I'll come on back to him in a second. But it was a 1v2 clutch, as well as a comeback on the very, very first round, if you remember, all the way back on Jim, where they came back from a 3v5 positioning, where I think it was Yuha. I mean, another player who was going insane was Yuha, even though his stats might have not showed it. He got the opening pick in, I think, 4 or 5 of the rounds, which was absolutely insane from a support player. It was literally a support player versus a support player, Bob. I mean, what did you feel watching that game? Like, just talk to me, man.
I mean, to be honest, for me personally, what had it was just like Reprince mentioned, it was the role swap. When it came to defense, on attack, you said it maybe wasn't the cleanest, maybe wasn't the best. When it came to defense, they shredded. I mean, the aggression just switched over. They had constant, the final 2 rounds were a 4v2, and then the last round that they actually managed to win the game with was a 4v1. So, even those early picks that they started getting off, just, even if they weren't necessarily the best spawn peaks, they were still pretty good. I mean, the Thermite making it the last round being a Thermite, that was the first pick. That's probably the best one you can go with. So that aggression switch that I had over to defense and the comfortability they kind of, went with is most definitely something very noticeable, as FF really couldn't do much against it. I doubt they were even expecting it. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to go into the interview with them, but is there any specific more moments that actually caught your eye?
I'm so glad you transitioned back into me for that, because it was in round number 8 where I just saw a play. I mean, it was nothing to do with the setup or something. It was just pure team play, where you obviously, it was Iana who was down on top of Secret Stairs, if you remember, and we can see the Jaeger. I don't quite remember who was playing
Solus.
Jaeger, but he was pushing up the Secret Stairs. It was who?
It was Jaeger and Solus, I believe.
Yeah, it was Jaeger and Solus, but I can't remember exactly who was playing on Jaeger. But basically, Jaeger was pushing up the stairs, and he heard the down guy, right? But he doesn't push, because he's assuming that the teammates are there to cover. So what he does is he makes a call, or the Solus calls, hey, I'm already playing inside of bar, because Solus had already retaken that space earlier because she was hiding inside a strip club. So she got her opening pick. She plays a little bit passive. Once she realizes the opportunity is there, she pushes onto that down person as well as the person resing her together with the Jaeger. And even though that Jaeger player got killed, the Solus was there to get that refrag, making it a 1-for-1 trade. And it could have been in a second one as well if it wasn't for the fact that the Buck managed to go through. It was an absolute perfection of a team play coming out, and it's something that I just love seeing, these small little fundamentals from teams, because both of these teams, they are really, really aggressive and they like playing each other, and it was amazing to just watch that. But that's enough for me. I think we're ready for the interview, Puffer Bob, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, thank you. That was really good analyzation. I mean, we got the head points, we got everything that we needed, but we're going to be here joined by Momo from the side of Make Your Destiny. Hello, Momo.
Hello, guys. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, you guys did great. Just to start off, well played. So how about we start off with some questions just to kind of see how it was for the background of you guys and what's for the future?
So after the games against Heroic, which obviously was a tough one, because we know it's a pro team. We know during the off season they went to Talent League just to get out of the Scream context.
Yeah.
And we wanted to give them like the best fight ever, and we think we didn't give them that fight. Actually, we throwed a bit of rounds, and we believe we could have done better against them. So the match against the Turkish guys today was to prove ourselves that we actually uh, deserve the first qualifier place, and we are here in Talent League to get out of groups and go further in the competition.
All right. So, in the voice call, we don't know how it was. So, when, let's say, a big play happened or you guys got really good picks at the start of the match, was it calm? Was it really loud? Were you guys screaming at the top of your lungs? How was it?
To be honest, at the beginning of the game, comms were a bit quiet. So that's why I talked about it during the tactical timeout that the other team used. I said, guys, you need to talk a bit more about yourself, what you're holding, what do you want to create as a collective play, and it went off really great. And I believe like we had kind of good attacking side because we went 3-3 at half, but we only lost 3 rounds, and 2 were poker strats when we dropped Blue Hatch in
Yeah.
the basement, and we went for rushing dirt as well. So we didn't show a classical game plan for the basement attack, which is interesting actually to be out of like the attacking side on club and 3-3. So you just get on with the defense then, which is what we did.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely worked out in the end. You still got the win. But there's one thing that I really want to know. It's when you guys switched over to defense, it was like a complete change. I mean, you guys were getting early kills in the last 2 rounds that you won. You were just getting instant picks, and the aggression was just out there. I mean, you were showing it fully. So, what happened? What changed when you went to defense?
We knew defense was our best side for the map, which is why we chose the attacking side, because we wanted to be like, all right, we go 3-3 or 4-2 at the split, and then defense is like free gameplay. So we were happy when we saw that we ended up 3-3 at the end of the attack, and we're confident in defense, and confident enough to get those early picks and get our game in the server.
All right. Very nice. Before we just, end it off with the shout-outs and whatever, this is a bit more of a personal question for me. But, when we're going to talk about a bit more of the new operator, Fenrir, how actually quickly did, like, just in general, you guys start implementing him into your strategies?
What is very useful with Fenrir is that the operator can actually block weaknesses from a defensive setup. And when you scream and play matches against pro teams, and you have strats on templates and you use them, you get to see really quickly what are the weaknesses of your strats. And Fenrir gives a good adaptation possibility for defenses, I believe.
Yeah, well said. I guess that's where we have it. This is going to be a very interesting operator to come up in comp. But just as a last resort, what do you have any shout outs, any thanks you want to give to anyone watching?
I would thank everyone who is supporting us. Make Your Destiny, the organization that we are representing, and of course the players that are in the games, which I am not, but they did the big job today. And cheers to everyone supporting us once again.
All right, great. Yeah, thank you very much for coming. And I mean, I think that's it for today. That was Titan Series yet again on the side of Talent League. And there's going to be more. You better be tuned in. And we shall be seeing you very soon.
Goodbye.